All right. Happy Sabbath. So, the future of our health, a seedy business. This is not your typical health report. We're not going to be talking about blood pressure, how to stave off diabetes, or what foods are best to eat, at least not directly. I received this email on February 10th, and this is one of the seed companies that I buy my seeds from. And I received this email. Go ahead and click the next one. And it says, I have to come over here, because it caught my attention. The seed and paper shortage update. Usually they're saying, get in your seed order, buy your seeds. But this time, this one caught my attention, so instead of just quickly deleting it, I read through. And it says, unbelievable demand for seeds is causing national shortage. The volume of our orders have been a challenge for our packing and fulfillment teams. Look at number 1. Our growers and our in-house production team are redoubling their efforts to produce more seeds, but global demand is causing many items to be temporarily unavailable, and they apologize. Global paper shortages. I'm like, what does that have to do with seeds? But it will greatly affect their catalogs this year, and if anybody knows about this company's catalog, it is a coveted catalog. And they expect the paper costs for our 2023 catalog to increase by 110%. We also face possibility of having supply shortages for their seed packets, because they're wrapped in paper mailers, and etc. I never thought of that. All the little downline units for just receiving my seeds. Okay. So I went on their website just to say, is this just a ploy to get me to buy more seeds, like quickly, because that's pretty good advertising. But they indeed are out of stock of their 2022 catalog, which I did not buy in time, so I'm out. So I said, well, since I'm online, let me get some garlic, because I need some garlic. Every single garlic, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. All of them. There was another page, all out of stock. And I said, well, I guess I'm not getting garlic from there. All right, go ahead. So I checked. I said, let me just do a search. Is this really a thing? This website here, demand for the garden seed is still high. And experts anticipate more shortages for 2022. Place your orders early. Go ahead. Seed companies are seeing historic levels of demand this year from the home gardeners and commercial farmers, and they're having a hard time keeping up. The great 2022 seed scramble, seed shortages added to farmers' concerns for next growing season. Good. Now, if anybody knows that when you start a search on the internet, it kind of leads you down this gopher hole, for which I fell. So let me take you down that gopher hole. An interesting fact, supposedly there's a doomsday escape from a global seed catastrophe. It's the Svalbard Seed Vault in Spitsbergen, an Arctic Circle island owned by Norway. Over 1 million seed types began arriving in 2008. Stored deep underground, all that treasure could survive nuclear war. Well, that's good to know. And so-called climate change disaster theft. It stated the goal is to eliminate hunger by 2023. And that's when the UN's Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change predicts that we will encounter global crop disasters. 2030, sorry. Okay. But the untampered climate records show that our climate isn't misbehaving more than historic variations in recent years, despite the IPCC's alarms. We must wonder why another 60,000 new varieties of seeds were added to the seed vault just 18 months ago. Who would distribute those 1 million plus seeds if there is a 2030 catastrophe, and at what price? So the Svalbard Seed Bank is a public-private partnership, so that is reassuring people with wealth, national concerns, and forward-thinking agendas, right? The seed bank and acquisition of the seeds is managed by the Global Crop Diversity Trust, based in Bonn, Germany, known simply as Crop Trust. And its statement mission is to ensure humanity conserves and makes available the world's crop diversity for future food security. Still, allocating scarce seeds equitably would take billions of dollars and encounter desperate contentions. And who's going to pay and how much? Surely, those at the helm have an altruistic plan. They're called the Donors Council. A few members, Bayer Corporation Science, DuPont Pioneer Hybrid, Syngenta AG, which is now ChemChina. These donor companies also own the agrochemical corporations making weed killers for GMO crops. China's state-owned Syngenta is the world's largest supplier of crop pesticides. Crop trust donors also include the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, and the Multinational Ag Research Alliance, CGIAR, acting through Biodiversity International. And if you want to delve into the background more deeply, in the fine print, you'll see a connection to the Rockefeller Foundation. Comes a crisis in 2030 or whenever, you won't get precious preserved seeds airdropped to you for free. You'll probably never see them when most needed. So the question remains, what will you do about saving your own seeds, grow and save your own Svalbard? So let's understand a little bit about seeds. Heirloom seeds, there's 3 different types of seeds basically: heirlooms, hybrids, and GMOs. So heirlooms are seed varieties that are at least 50 years old, and you can save these seeds and plant them year after year. The heirloom seeds you collect from one year, you will be able to produce a plant the next year with about the same characteristics as the parent plant from the previous year. And heirlooms are never hybrids or GMOs. Many heirloom varieties were preserved by home gardeners who saved seeds from their family gardens from year to year. Other seeds traveled around the world in the pockets of or letters of immigrants, which is why, though the tomato has evolved from Central America, we have varieties from Russia, Italy, Japan, France, Germany, and Kentucky. But many other heirlooms are commercially bred varieties from the seed catalogs of the 19th and 20th, early 20th centuries. Now a hybrid. A hybrid are crosses of heirloom varieties, and if you save a hybrid, you may not get the same thing that you planted previously. Sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad, and sometimes it doesn't work at all. Many hybrids have turned into heirlooms, but it takes decades of consistent cultivating to be considered and sold as an heirloom. Remember the 50-year rule. It takes 50 years of consistently getting the same plant to produce the exact same thing year after year to be considered an heirloom. And then you have genetically modified seeds. These seeds are created in a lab where the basic genetic material of the seed is being altered, usually to make them resistant to an herbicide. And to set the record straight, there are currently no genetically modified garden seeds available for sale to the general public. GMO seeds are only sold to large crop production farmers. You can buy GMO fruits and vegetables in your grocery store, but not in seed packets. So, why should we save our seeds? When you save a seed from your best heirloom plant each year, you're gradually making improvements. Future seeds will be more adapted to grow in your particular climate and soil condition. And saving seeds means that more plants in your garden will be allowed to flower, and flowers equals fruits and vegetables. All right, so the loss of diversity. The U.S. Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that in the 1900s, we lost 75% of genetic diversity in plants across the globe. In this period, farmers have come under economic and legislative pressure to grow high-yielding and genetically uniform hybrids, varieties, and more genetically stable land races. Why? Because we like our tomatoes, plump and juicy and red. We like our potatoes, all about the same size. We like our corn on the cob, not to have any missing kernels. So where's the variety? Did you know that there's corn on the cob that looks like this? Or hundreds of different varieties of potatoes and tomatoes. Elements of good health. The Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden. And there he put a man whom he had formed. And the Lord God took the man, and he put it into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. To Adam and Eve was committed the care of the garden, to dress it and to keep it. Though rich in all that the owner of the universe could supply, they were not to be idle. Useful occupation was appointed them as a blessing to strengthen the body, to expand the mind, and to develop the character. God created the seed, and he created the earth. By his word, he gave it power to grow and to multiply. That is just amazing. He said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth," and it was so. And God saw that it was good. Seed sowing. Let men and women work in the field and the orchard and the garden. This will bring health and strength to the nerve and muscle. Every part of the human organism should be equally taxed. God made nerve and muscle in order that they might be used. It is the inaction of the human machinery that brings suffering and disease. If we sit back on our sofas with our electronic devices, watching movies, spending time on social media, playing games, and hanging with family and friends, we leave the fate of our health to governments, humanitarians, foundations, big business. By doing nothing, we are saying, "You make decisions for me, please." How do we control our health? Buy a few packets of heirloom seeds of various fruits and vegetables that you like to eat. Find some ground, your backyard, your co-op land nearby, a pot or a grow bag. Amend the soil if needed. Put the seed in the soil. Take care of the plant. Enjoy your harvest and share some. Save some seeds from the best plants for the next year, and then repeat. So why is it important for us to care about our seeds and grow your own food and to grow variety? Plant-derived vaccines. Vaccines are most effective and efficacious means of reducing the disease burden of infection disease. Plant-derived vaccines have several advantages. They can be produced cheaply in very high amounts. Carrier plants, such as potatoes and corn, are readily accepted by patients, and antigens derived from them are stable and can be stored for long periods of time. The likelihood that contamination by a plant virus would have an adverse effect on humans is almost negligible. There are several technical challenges concerning plant-derived vaccines that must be resolved before they enter wide-scale use, and the regulatory requirements for this novel class of vaccines must be established. In addition, public acceptance of the new technology must be ensured. As the development of plant-derived vaccines matures, the World Health Organization, will continue to serve as a forum for the international harmonization of requirements. That was, note the date, January 24-25 of 2005. This is the report if you're interested. It's a 16-page report that was written in 2005. Here we are needing a vaccine that is readily produced and sent out to the masses, and how will they do it? We are now in 2022. How important is it that we care about our seeds, that we plant our own food, that we start our own gardens? That's how important it is. Thank you.